Well, good morning and welcome to Investigate Everything, the Headlines Report. We're trying something a little new this morning. I want to get through some headlines because what ends up happening is I aggravate my family, neighbors, and even my postman by saying, "Did you see what happened in the headlines today?" They have no idea what I'm talking about, so I figured I'd share them with you. We're going to fly through these. I'm going to give some quick analysis. I might be wrong, I might get it wrong, I might get it right, but this is just to set up the evening shows so we could dive deeper into the issues that matter. What I'm trying to do here is really show how these different issues that are popping up, mainly in X, just because I pick up the trends that way, and how they connect to larger things going on throughout the world. Now, I also have a special treat for you. I have been playing with something called BandLab, and I made a little music to open the show with in the future once I set that up. In the meantime, I will play that while I set up my set here. By the way, welcome, and it's good to see you all. During this edition, I won't be answering comments, but I will pay attention to who's on so we can address those during the longer show in the evening. So, again, welcome to Investigate Everything, and let's get started. By the way, this one's called The Morning Mix. It's just a working title. So, enjoy, listen, and I'll be on in a second. Okay, not bad. It's getting there. Good. Sounds a little lo-fi, but whatever they call it. So let's get started. All right, adding to the stage. This is my Twitter page. Okay, in the first news that I've kind of bookmarked here, South Korea declares martial law amid political crisis. Now, if you read through this, this is South Korean's President Yoon Suk Yeol has declared martial law, citing the need to remove pro-North Korean elements and restore public order amidst the political turmoil. This declaration, which has led to the prohibition of all political activities, including media operations and public assembly, has sparked significant controversy and fear among the public, especially regarding civil liberties. The South Korean parliament has voted to defy this declaration, indicating a deep political rift over the president's actions. Okay, so throughout Twitter, throughout X, what you're seeing is a lot of people taking this different ways. K-pop charts, one of the top posts on this said, starting from today, activities related to the National Assembly and political parties are banned in South Korea. All political events, including associations, protests, according to martial law, and all news, media, and publications will be banned under the martial law. Anyone violating martial law, so they're just kind of reporting the news. Now, Atul Kassar says, hope everyone stays safe in South Korea. So basically, dictatorship, that's a good point. Bloodline saga. Here's the thing. South Korea, pretty much, we have a lot of say over what happens in South Korea. I've been to South Korea. That's where we have bases, everything. So if it's happening in South Korea, it's a really, really interesting time for this to be happening, and an unfortunate thing to be happening, because at the same time, what we have going on is reports of North Korean soldiers augmenting Russian troops in Ukraine. Now, I can't find any confirmation that North Korean soldiers are actually fighting in the Ukraine war itself. We do know there's North Korean soldiers in Siberia, and I also know that there's long-standing treaties, and the Russians and the North Korean soldiers have had exercises forever. Why does that matter? Well, that matters because Russia reportedly has been making some concessions to the North Koreans, including some oil deals. We also know that things are ramping up in Syria, which involves almost another proxy war between us and Russia. The Russians supporting the Syrian government. It looks like we're kind of backing the anti-Syrian government forces. So there's that. Here's my take. My take is when someone declares martial law, especially in a place like South Korea, it's a pretty big deal. Now, it looks political on the surface. I would pay attention to this one because normally when martial law is declared, it's followed by war, or it is the act of really good intelligence saying that war might be imminent. I don't know. It could be totally political, but that's my initial take on it. And again, most of these headlines I just looked at today. So keep an eye on that one. It is bookmarked, and we'll dive into it. As always, you guys know you can always send me your tips and leads to Brian at Daily Clout, and tell me what you think. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, moving on. Okay, this is not about North Korea. It's about South Korea going back under military dictatorship. Let's hope not. Okay, so back to the headlines here. Okay, we've all seen this. It's disgusting. Joe Biden pardons Hunter amid legal political controversy. I'm not going to go too much into that. I will note that this pardon goes all the way back, like they say here, to January 2014. That's a really interesting date because that would clear him of all the Burisma stuff and all of these illicit deals. I'm going to have Brandon Weichert on again this week because I know everyone loves him. He's awesome to talk about this and go deeper into this. Now, everyone knows that the pardon came after years of Biden saying, no, we wouldn't do that. No one's above the law. Well, apparently someone is above the law, and that's Hunter Biden. So keep an eye on that one. This sets a dangerous precedent. I mean, granted, a president can pardon whomever he wants, but it does set a dangerous precedent where the very people who are worried about people being above the law are acting above the law, as they always have. But to see it like this, it's just disgusting. It's a slap in the face of the American people. And it really, really is a terrible look for the United States on the world stage. I know a lot of people will call me a globalist for saying that. I'm not a globalist, actually. But I will say that, look, if we're going to lead, and we're going to lead by example, then we need to set a good example. This is a terrible example to set. Keep an eye on this one. It's going to open up a lot of legal Pandora's boxes. Let's look at some of the responses to this. Dr. Anastasia Maria Lupus, who we both follow each other, she's great. In spite of a 630-page report on Hunter Biden laptop from hell, documenting 191 sex crimes, 128 drug crimes, and 140 business crimes, Hunter Biden has been pardoned by Joe Biden. America is the most corrupt place in the world. We're getting there. We are certainly getting there. So it's hard to disagree with that statement. Okay. So Brian Tyler Cohen, who is a left-wing influencer, he's another cookie cutter, ex-actor, failed actor, whatever you want to call him. He's an influencer. He says, you were literally pardoned by Trump. Dinesh D'Souza, and he's saying that about Dinesh D'Souza. That's quite a stupid comparison. Dinesh D'Souza didn't commit any crimes. That's the big difference. So anyways, we'll unpack that another time. Easy to go down that bad road. Joe Biden, nobody is above the law. This is Representative Jim Johnson. Unless you're Hunter Biden, illegal aliens, rioters, and looters. I would say certain types of protesters. The list up, Eric Swalwell. The list goes on. Okay, so there's that. So there's that headline. Keep an eye on that because it can open. Sorry, I'm laughing at that Elmo thing. It can. Okay, I gotta show this. I'm sorry, I just saw this for the first time. It's hilarious. Let me play the sound. So this headline is called Hunter Biden celebrating pardon. Okay, that's pretty funny. But yeah, it's funny, but it's sad at the same time. So I'm not going to go too much into Hunter Biden, but it's I think it can have some major implications, especially for the legal system and how it's handled it. I would just caution that we shouldn't do the good for the goose, good for the gander thing. We don't want to sink to that level as conservatives and say, okay, fine, we're going to pardon anyone we want. We should only pardon people who deserve to be pardoned. Hunter Biden is a criminal. He does not deserve to be pardoned. That's my opinion. and I stand by that. Okay. There is, this is interesting. This caught my eye here. Trump jokingly proposes Canada as 51st state over dinner. During a dinner at Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump reportedly made a lighthearted suggestion to Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau that if the U.S. tariffs severely impacted Canada's economy, Canada might consider becoming the 51st state of the United States, with Trudeau as its governor. This comment was made in the context of ongoing trade negotiations and discussions about potential economic tariffs between the two nations. It's funny, but he makes a good point, Donald Trump does, because in addition to these, this whining over the tariffs, Canada's military is in serious, serious trouble. They're way below the required GDP of spending, the percentage that NATO expects people to spend on their military. Canada, their military has been gutted. It's a terribly weak military. I have a lot of friends in the Canadian military. I have the deepest respect for my friends in Canada. Can't stand Justin Trudeau. But the point is, their military is in deep, serious trouble. It's antiquated. They barely have any submarines. And this is a real problem because without the United States, let's face the facts, Canada doesn't have much security. Okay, so it's funny to say the 51st state, but Trudeau may want to consider it because otherwise they better start picking up the pace on that military spending because, again, their military is one of the weakest in the Security Council. So, but at the same time, might be a good idea. And I like Canada, be great. Buddy Jason James is out there, so and my friend Steve Waterhouse, so it'd be great to say, hey man, let's go to the beach in the 51st state. Anyways, they do need to step it up. Hopefully they get rid of Justin Trudeau, and they're that kind of secure neighbor that we need, because it'd be great to have a nice strong ally in Canada like we used to have. It'd be nice to get back to those days. So funny, but keep an eye on Canada and keep an eye in particular on their military spending because they are our northern border and we need them to be strong. All right. Before I go too much further, let me just talk really quickly. This banner at the bottom here, you see it right there, is Birch Gold. Now, this is really, really important news. I don't have the headline up. China is claiming they just discovered a major mine in China of gold. Okay. I don't know if it's true. I take it with a grain of salt, anything that comes out of China, but that's what they're announcing. Birch Gold has been our sponsor for a long time. I actually have my assets, a lot of them moved into gold. Why do I have them moved into gold? It's a great hedge in turbulent times. But it's a really, really good investment because since 2023, gold has actually gone up almost like $1,000 an ounce. I believe it was at 1,700 last November, and now it's just around 2,700 per ounce. Now I can remember in the 80s when I was a kid, and we'd joke about gold because it was like the old men on the late night PBS selling gold. And back then it was like, I think in the 200s and 300s per ounce. But I mean, that's like between 2023 and 2024, that's like a 33% gain. I mean, that's insane. Like barely any stocks do that. So, well, actually Pfizer's done a similar thing in the opposite direction. So, but no, gold, great investment. I'm really happy with it. And I brought up China because China is buying up gold, and so are the central banks of many, many countries. So do yourself a favor, do us a favor, go to text Daily Clout to 989898, get your free info kit. It is free. They're not going to spam you, but it is worth getting that and learning how to protect your investments. And go and take a look at your 401ks if you have one, or in your Roth IRAs. And if you have mutual funds, see the way they're diversified. I moved mine out of a lot of the stuff that Janus had put me in because they had me in like BlackRock and all these things I didn't want to be in. A lot of green energies that were garbage stocks. I transferred the IRA to Birch Gold. and I'm very happy with it. And by the way, someone asked me, they said, can you actually get your gold? Yes, you can get your physical gold. They have a contract with Brink Security, and if you want your gold, they will bring you your gold. I'm sure there's fees that apply, but you actually are not just buying gold on paper, you're actually buying gold. But again, go to Birch Gold, text Daily Clout to 989898, get your free info kit, and we have Philip Patrick on here a lot. He is their precious metals specialist over there at Birch Gold. Great guy, full of information. Totally recommend you check out those episodes. I've done a few of them, but they're all across over at dailyclout.io. So again, one more time, Daily Clout to 989898. Get your free info kit today. All right, back to the news. All right, so that is Canada. Now, it's funny, but again, just remember, keyword on this one, Canadian military. And if anyone who is listening in the chat, especially on X, someone had sent me a recent documentary on their military, and I was horrified. I watched it with my 13-year-old, super smart, geopolitically focused son, and he was like, damn, Dad. I corrected and made him say darn, but still, we were both shocked. Okay, the other one I have marked is we know Kash Patel has been nominated. We'll see how that works out. I just did Spot in His Glory. We were talking about that, so interesting comments. But I'll save those for the His Glory episode. We talked about martial law. Yeah, this one's really interesting. China halts high-tech material exports to the U.S. China has imposed an export ban on gallium, germanium, antimony, and other high-tech materials with potential military applications. This decision comes in response to the U.S. announcing new controls aimed at restricting China's ability to produce advanced semiconductors. The materials involved are critical for various high-tech industries, indicating a rise in trade tensions between the two nations. Okay, so a lot of these materials are used in cryptography equipment, telecommunications equipment. Here's my take on this one. I don't really know the end game here, but it does tell me that I would even say that they're trying to make Biden look strong on his way out, or Xi Jinping is trying to increase his bargaining position with the tariffs that Trump's set to impose on China, which I believe go up to 60%. So the negotiations have begun. This is how I look at this. It's a bit of a paper tiger because most of our military comms equipment is kind of controlled by China or produced by China, which scares the hell out of me. But we'll see how this one plays out. I don't think this is tantamount to war. I think this is Xi Jinping, the leader of China, the leader of the Chinese Communist Party, and I think this is them getting their bargaining position set up. They're, saying, okay, we're banning this. So now he's got something to bargain with. Now Xi Jinping can say, okay, we'll lift the prohibitions on the export of those materials that you desperately need. I don't know much about those materials mentioned, but I do know that it's a lot of communications equipment type stuff. But a lot of those things exist in other places too, especially in Ukraine and Afghanistan. So think about that. All right, so that is the China headline. Now let me see. Did we cover everything? Cover politics? We covered China. We got to get to Ukraine if it's there. Oh, this is a really, really, really good tweet to take a peek at. Social Security safety net or financial deceit. So what happened here is Senator Mike Lee basically posted this big thread really exposing Social Security. Now, we all kind of knew, but this is the first time I've ever seen Social Security laid bare as the kind of scam it is. For those who, I don't know, may not know, this is a system you pay into, and you're supposed to have it when you retire. Well, according to this super thread by Mike Lee, he goes into the entire history of it and how this is the slush fund that the government dips into every time they need extra money. So you're paying into it, and they're just taking it for the administrations are taking it for whatever they need. In recent months, we have reported here on Daily Clout that they've been giving Social Security benefits to illegal aliens. So there's one for you. It's really, really scary if you think about it, because we know that FEMA funds were used for illegal immigrants, illegal aliens, and that would tell me that there maybe wasn't enough in Social Security to fund that illicit activity by the government. So that tells me it's getting pretty low. I don't know the current balance of the Social Security system, but if they've been doing this for the last several decades, I'm really, really worried about it. Recommend everyone, if you have that opportunity with your employer, I would switch from being a W-2 to a W-9, meaning you're paying your own taxes every quarter if you get that opportunity. I've never been happier since leaving that kind of a paycheck, employer takes it out of your paycheck type work, because you can do a lot of write-offs and save yourself the trouble. So if you're depending on Social Security to be there, I wouldn't, and I'd say something and I'd be blowing up the phones of your Congress people. But he says, here's on thread part 9, he said, but here's the kicker. The government routinely raids this fund. Yes, you heard that right. They take your money and use it for whatever the current Congress deems necessary. Every few years, there's talk in Congress about saving Social Security. I've introduced and co-sponsored a number of measures over the years that would fix it, but most in Congress show little desire to fix it and are instead constantly looking for ways to borrow from it. I mean, what can I say? Yeah, I mean, if you're paying, okay, I'll put it this way. If I was putting my money in the bank and then I checked my balance and my balance had gone down because the bankers were taking it and using it to buy sports cars, I'd stop putting my money in the bank. Take that as you want. So there's that headline. Keep an eye on Social Security. So now we've covered finance. And I'm going to cover one more topic here. I think this is very important. This one really caught my eye, not the cat eater in Ohio. I can't even look at that. Jill Biden decorating the White House, and I may have lost this, but oh, I'm sorry, I almost forgot this one. This one really pissed me off. Okay, so in Edison, New Jersey, they pushed a bill through that would limit the number of minutes that citizens can speak at their town board meetings, reducing the time people can speak in the public comment section. In addition to that, this local bill calls for the banning of any props at these meetings. Now, the controversy here pops up with, of course, reducing the time of citizens to speak, but also they referred to the American flag that one lawyer went up and was talking with. They referred to that as a prop, and they even removed him from the meeting. Let me show you this video because it was shocking, and I did respond to it, and we have work to do on this one. All right, let me play this for you.
I'm holding up an American flag to represent the constitutional values that we should be loyal to.
And if you continue, I will have to forfeit. You'll have to forfeit your time.
Well,
Sir, your time.
It's my constitution. It's my constitutional right to do this. If you get sued, you will lose. My suggestion to you is that you get a second opinion from competent counsel because you are wrong. You are interfering with the integrity of this meeting by interfering with the right to speech of a member of the public. You're interfering with the speech, and it should stop now. I'd like to continue.
The officers told you to sit down and continue after the council president repeatedly asked you to stop. You've now been asked to be removed from the chambers. So
there's no reason to remove me from the chambers because I am not.
That guy's a lawyer, by the way. That's telling me he's going to have to sit down.
Excuse me. I'm ready to sit here quietly, and I will not interfere with your decorum, so I have a right to be here.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? All right. This council meeting has been recessed for 5 minutes. We'll be back at 7:04.
Are you ejecting him from the meeting? Officers, are you ejecting him from the meeting?
Okay, so you saw it there. Now, just so everyone knows, I'm not saying it means anything. Did a little research on that guy, his name, who ejected him. His name is Council President Nishith Patel. And he graduated from Rutgers with a pharmacy degree, a PharmD. He's a clinical pharmacist specializing in transplant medication. So, yes, Big Pharma strikes again. What can I say? Yes, I know it's a stretch. Take it as you want. Keep an eye on that one. I'm digging deeper into this entire township of Edison. I did notice on their website that they have all these things about this new master plan by the mayor. Let me see if I can call up really quickly my response to this. And the responses have been huge. Let me take you back over to X. All right, so the persistence, the awesome Scott Pressler says in his response to this, New Jersey Democrats banned the American flag at their city council meetings. It would be a shame if everyone showed up with American flags. It would even be more shameful if there's a voter registration table to switch to Republican. Edison, New Jersey. Have a feeling we're going to see Scott Pressler at Scott Pressler there. You may remember Mr. Pressler, real heroic work he did during the last election, flipping people in Pennsylvania over to the Republican ticket and really getting out the vote and getting people registered. This man's a hero in my book. Scott, great job. And if I could get out there, I will. I guess see how far it is and if my schedule calls for it, but I'd love to get out there. Okay, lots of different responses to this. Scott is a dragon in his soul. I can feel the energy. Yeah, he does. He is a dragon for sure. If Scott's going out there, they better be careful. Because he's going to bring lots of people with him, and he's probably going to use that to flip them. Let me see if I could get to mine really quickly. Let me stop sharing this for a second. And so I can call up but I get a response to this, and the reason I'm putting up my response is not to toot my own horn here. It's just to make sure that you guys have the information you need in case you didn't see it. Because what I did, which is totally legal, these people cannot operate in the dark, okay? They, here we go. All right, let me share this tab. I should play that music while I'm doing this. Okay. Here we go. All right, so my response this morning was to the mayor of Edison. Why are you letting council members violate the Constitution and trample on your own citizens' rights? How do you think this is going to play out? Hint, not good for your career. I've included his email right there, which is on the public website of his campaign. And I also included the fact that here on his website, these are the people he's touting. Okay, so it's not like he doesn't know them, right? There's the guy right there responsible for kicking the guy out, but these other people voted for it. Let me go back to X. I'm getting good at this. Okay, so the council member leading the charge to ban the American flag from council meetings and to reduce the time for public comment is Nishith Patel, the pharmacologist, the pharmaceutical guy. And here is his website. It's all on my tweet. This tweet is pinned to the top of this post is pinned to the top of my X account. This is the main number for the Township of Edison. And look, these things change. We have a great commentator, contributor on Daily Clout named Melissa Blazek. She was in New Hampshire government, and she said the thing that really got her attention was never just a bunch of tweets. It was phone calls, emails, and people showing up at the office to peacefully let their voices be heard. So just keep that in mind. If you go to Brian O'Shea SPI, it's pinned to the top. Go and grab that information. And if you would do me a solid and share that out, because no one can get away with this stuff anymore. When we let this stuff go in the past, we didn't pay attention like we're paying attention now. Way back when, probably 2016 and earlier, you see the way these things can manifest into something darker that almost destroyed our country. And we're still fighting, and we're going to be fighting for a long time. Don't let them get away with this, okay? Whatever you do, do it legally and peacefully, but please let your voices be heard. All right. In other stuff, here we go. So we got China halting things, and the one that caught my eye, and is this one right here. And this is the final one I will talk about today, is the U.S. is sent the A-10 Warthogs over there to Syria. In eastern Syria, the Syrian Democratic Forces, backed by U.S. air support, have reportedly engaged in operations against Assad regime and Iranian-backed forces near Deir ez-Zor. Footage and reports confirm the presence and activity of U.S. A-10C Warthog aircraft in the region, while there are claims of U.S. airstrikes targeting Iranian militia positions. Okay, guys, this is a proxy war. We've done it. They're doing it. Okay, everyone's been rattling the saber about wanting a war against Iran, but this is not just a proxy war against Iran via Syria, because Russia has people over in Syria back in the Assad regime. So we're using yet another country, or the Biden administration is using another country for a proxy war. This needs to stop immediately. We're basically backing the people trying to overthrow the current government. This is bad. This is color revolution type stuff with A-10 Warthogs. And if anyone knows what the A-10 Warthog is, it's got a giant freaking Gatling gun on the top. It goes up, comes down, and it will frag a whole line of tanks. If you've ever been in the military, you've heard them, and they shoot so many depleted uranium rounds. They come down, they go, brr. That's what it sounds like, and that's like a ton of rounds. These things are tank killers. This is a pretty big deal. It's a bigger deal than the news is letting on to have A-10s deployed, because they're not long-range aircraft. Okay, that means we're deploying these from nearby bases. Not good. Okay, not good. We'll see how this plays out. Again, I'm going to get Brandon Weichart on here to talk more about this. Keep an eye on this one. This could spill over into a very big war throughout the Middle East. It also seems to be an extension of our proxy war against Russia, because that's what Ukraine is. Ukraine is a money laundering operation, and it is a proxy war against Russia, with us doing all the heavy lifting while NATO sits on our shoulders and says, yeah, go get them. All right, so that's the headlines for today. Actually, I am going to take a few comments because I got a little time here, so let me remove this for now. All right, and let's check out the latest comments. Okay. Steve Allen. Sounds good, B. Oh, he liked the music. I love it. Thank you, man. Good to see you, Steve Allen. Let me see. Casher got $2 billion from the dudes that sponsored the hijackers, chopped up CIA asset. Kushner. Gotcha. Kushner. That's what you meant. I don't know, but I'm posting your comment. And Not Lowe's too. I don't always agree with everything Not Lowe says. It's rare we do agree, but I really like the fact that he's always on and we always have some great conversations. Good to see you, Not Lowe's. I can't comment on that because I don't really know much about it, so not blowing you off. But yep, like I always say, send me more. I would love to talk about it sometime. Okay, Rose Whittingham, welcome back. U.S. Trump, people's president. Absolutely, Rose. I totally agree with you. I voted for him. I've never been happier. Okay, Canada is building it for. Well, okay, so Not Lowe's again. Canada is building new frigates, a new sub-program. We have excellent IFVs in mock dogfights. We still best the Americans, even with the antiquated equipment. Okay, Not Laws. We're going to do a whole show on Canada's military. I disagree with you, respectfully. But we'll definitely talk. I'm bookmarking this comment. I respect what you're saying. I'm sure you have a source for that. But I can tell you right now, there's no way the Canadian military is besting the U.S. military. No way. Based on their current status of their military, its stuff is so antiquated. And I'm sorry, I got to say this. Is building new frigates, what have they been doing with all their taxpayer money? I mean, I'll send you the link, Not Laws. I'll send it to you on YouTube. I'll send you the link, and send me your links back. Oh, I love discussing this stuff with you, but I'm sorry, it's so substandard that they're almost getting kicked out of like their exalted position in the NATO Security Council. So I don't know if that's accurate, but I don't know. So, I will, for now, we'll just have to agree to disagree. Okay, Not Los, you got a lot of comments. I will get back to you, but I can't answer them all because I want to get some other people in here. All right, but good to see you, man. Okay, Blue Wolf 2000, welcome back. Good to see you too, Blue Wolf. I'm married to a lady named Wolf, so I especially like your profile. You're in good company. Okay, so sorry. Oh, Bones Mama. Bones Mama is back. Haven't seen her in a while. Good to see you, Bones Mama. Okay. Yes, she agrees with me on I'm guessing she's talking about the Edison thing. Yes. Time to be annoying and boisterous about the freedom to bitch. Absolutely. Okay. Well, because it's the middle of the day, Bones Mama, I'm not going to put up your next comment, but I agree with you totally. Can't stand those weak, I'll just say bitch-made men and women. Totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. I just, there might be some kids watching, so I won't put it up. Rutgers is horrible. I wouldn't know, but Eek too, welcome. Tell me more about it. What should we know about Rutgers? Or is it just you went there and you hated it? Or is there something more nefarious? For instance, like Baylor in Texas, they get so much money from NIH, will make your head spin. Also is where Hotez comes from. So that kind of horrible, or just a horrible place? I don't know. I'm a university guy from Boston. So Iran hasn't, okay, here we go. Iran hasn't gone into a war of aggression for 250 years, but hey, they are the bad guy. Maybe not, but they, did sack our embassy, Not Lowe's. I mean, there's that. But, among other things. But I don't like them trying to turn Iran into this next threat to democracy. I think we're going to agree on this point. They are trying to make Iran the boogeyman, so they can keep, and by they I mean the military-industrial complex, the rhinos and the Democrats, so they can keep their little ATM machine going. As I just said, I was just on the War Report on His Glory. Not the War Report, their other one, but we did a pre-recorded. We were talking. I was asked about my take on Ukraine. Ukraine was just a replacement for Afghanistan, the ATM that was Afghanistan. Okay, and now it's almost like they're trying to set up some backdrops for that. So, Not Lowe's, if you're saying that they're intentionally trying to boogeyman Iran, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I'm not saying Iran's good or by no means, but you're right. Just like we made a boogeyman out of Putin, like he's going to roll through democracy if we don't stop in Ukraine. Well, if he can't get through Ukraine, what the hell is everyone worried about? Obviously he could. He's just chosen not to. But I hear you. They're trying to make more boogeymen. It's like they're trying to make a bench of boogeymen so they always have someone to step up to the plate that they can attack to make more money. I totally agree with you on that completely. So yeah, there's that. That's a great comment. My cousin Ernie in the house. Send this message. Seems you don't have to do that right now. You screwed up by saying that answer. I don't know what you're saying, Ernie. Send this. You screwed it up by saying the answer. I don't know what you're saying, but that's okay. Love you, buddy. Bad vaccination policy. Bad vaccine altogether. Oops. I don't think that was intended for us. So anyways, that's all right. Let me see. Children's Health Defense sued Rutgers for their mandates. Great. And didn't they sue Yale as well? That's okay. Now I remember. Thanks, Eek, too. I appreciate that. Guys, that's all the comments I'm going to take for now. I have got to get on the road. We're in Salem, Massachusetts right now, heading back up north. Have to do some work up there. But yeah, please send your comments. Oh, and before we do, I'm pretty excited to announce something. One of our sponsors, let me get to it here. Get Native Path. There we go. Native Path. So check this out. They have asked me to do a contest. Well, I'm gonna take all this Native Path stuff like nonstop for like a month, and I'm gonna record it, and I'm gonna give you my updates on the show. So, but if you go to Get Native Path and you want to join in the fun and send your own updates, I'll air them. As long as you keep them rated G. But getnativepath.com/Daily Clout. Use promo code Daily Clout. Get 45% discount. So I'm going to use the collagen peptides. I've got to get with the Daily Clout staff and find out what they have in mind for this. But yeah, I'm going to do that Native Path challenge. I know a few people have done it and they look phenomenal. So I'm pretty excited about this. It's a good kick to get going and go into the holidays. It's going to be tough through the holidays, but I'm going to stick with it. So I will keep you updated. But in the meantime, if you want to get better bones, hair, everything else, digestion, everything, the collagen is awesome. It's really good. They also have the Hydrate product, which I really like. Has the amino acids, really great products all around. So go to getnativepath/Daily Clout and use promo code Daily Clout to get a 45% discount. And of course, before I go, the Wellness Company. Love these guys. Go to dailyclouthealth.com and use promo code Daily Clout to get 10% off anything at the Wellness Company. We know all the people at the Wellness Company. One of our longest standing sponsors. They're fantastic. Just check it out and use Daily Clout to get your discount. I mean, where do I start with the Wellness Company? Their medical emergency kits, their pandemic preparedness kits. It's got everything you need, and I keep them in my car. I keep them in all my houses. So it's just so nice to have those things there. So yeah, they've always been there. And what I really like about the Wellness Company is when you call them, someone gets back to you or they answer the phone and they take care of, if there's a shipping problem. I've never had one, but I've heard of people saying, I didn't get the right product, and they sent them 2 of the right ones. Okay, so it's just the customer support's great, and our really good friends like Harvey Risch, Dr. Drew, they're all on the board. On the medical, they're the medical advisors, Peter McCullough. I mean, these are people I trust and have taken, their advice through the Wellness Company. And I couldn't be happier. So again, go to dailyclouthealth.com, use promo code DailyClout, get 10% off, and let us know what you think of those products. Finally, if I've covered, and then my own personal sponsor. I love these guys. heavensharvest.com/unrestricted. Yes, I will change that eventually, but for now it is heavensharvest.com/unrestricted. You guys know all about it. I got a big bucket of it right there. I'm not going to lift it up because I got my cameras on top of it. But just this morning, we forgot to get eggs because we're leaving, so we don't want to keep too much food in the house. And I actually used my Heaven's Harvest powdered egg product. Now, what this is when you add water to it, you don't get it's not cooked. They freeze-dried raw eggs. So you actually whip it up and you put it in the pan, you fry it. It was delicious. And so I had that this morning for breakfast, a big bowl of it, and I gave some to Naomi, and I didn't tell her it was emergency food. I just wanted to see if she commented on it. She's like, oh, these are really good. She didn't even know. So check it out, heavensharvest.com/unrestricted. And if you forget the URL, just go to heavensharvest.com and use the promo code unrestricted. You're going to get 5, 10, and 15% off depending on the product. Love these products. They're delicious. They're tasty. And it's a very instructive type of website. They have their own farms. They grow their own food. And this food will last for 25 years. And it's stackable too. So if you're in a small apartment, that's a good thing. And they even have water purifiers and heirloom seeds. I mean, you name it. This is like long-term survival stuff. But it's not like weirdo type survival with like some angry guy in a beard like yelling at you to get emergency food. No, this is just like normal gardeners, people who really understand the need for long-term emergency food. It's not just like zombie apocalypse need. It's like, Texas windmills freezing and people freezing to death. You never know when you're going to need it, so you might as well get it. Or you might have a crime emergency and you're too scared to leave your apartment. It's good to have that food in the house. Never a bad thing. So use promo code unrestricted to get that. And, finally, unfortunately I don't have one here. But make sure you pick up the book, the Pfizer Papers book. Here is the URL right there. We had an amazing book party in Brooklyn recently. And just, really just awesome, great restaurant called Pitch, P-I-C-H, on Flatbush in Brooklyn. They were awesome hosts. And we had everyone there, people from all over, mainly the volunteers who worked on the book. It was great to see them and launching this book. So if you go there, go to the Pfizer Papers at dailyclout.io. You want to get this book. This book has everything about the vaccines in it. There's a Moderna version coming out as well. What's good about this book is it's kind of like a textbook. You can look things up by symptoms and, if you got the vaccine, you're worried about the side effects. This is everything you don't need to know. You should always know more, but this is everything you're going to want to know and a lot of stuff you don't want to know. And the source is the Pfizer Papers that were submitted to the FDA by Pfizer. So this is not conjecture or opinion. This is their own research that they tried to hide from the public, and now it's in a book, and now it's yours. And you can find a lot of these reports on dailyclout.io. But yeah, please pick up the book and, check it out and let us know your comments. And that's at dailyclout.io/Pfizer-papers. All right. So with that, I think I will leave you with something. I had to do this. So the other day, it's been a while. Oh God, I got to stop. So it's been a while since I've flown the drone. So I decided to fly it the other day. I have the new, when you look at X through this lens, it's kind of terrifying. Okay, so here we go. All right, so I'm going to leave you with my latest drone flight. It was a lot of fun. Okay, so I'll leave you with this little moment of zen. This is up in Hudson Valley, and I had the kids and everything, and just wanted to go outside. My son was watching a little football, and he's on with his friends. My daughter's reading a book. My wife's writing a book. Everyone's nice, chill. I took that opportunity to sneak outside, kind of lose myself in a little first-person drone, try not to get vertigo. I'll leave you with this because it's a nice break, and I want to share it with you. So this has been Brian O'Shea with Investigate Everything. We will be doing our normal deep dives at nighttime, but I did want to get through some headlines today. Look forward to your comments. Please send me your comments to brian@dailyclout.io. Want to hear what you think, what we can improve, what you want me to focus on. I'll apply as much of your feedback as possible. So with that, let me leave you with this and enjoy it.